Hello, my name is Suckit, and we are playing all the mods 9. And I've been trying to recover some ground that we lost when we lost the last world, which is a lot. I've been working on a Whirly Sprig area. But what we're gonna do right this second, I'll show little tiny pieces of what we're doing as long as it's not something new. But we got something new to do. This thing's too slow. We are going to go back to thermal and start looking at some of the augments. Now, I think we already made a couple of these, the stabilized RF coils, but we want a flux linkage amplifier. For that, we're going to need 2 electrum plates. Clever us, we already have a multi-servo press, but we are going to need a little more electrum. We got our plates. Now this thing will double the speed at the cost of just 10% more energy. It's not bad. You can see it's pretty fast. Now we could also add flux efficiency. It'll take the power down by 10%, but the energy will also go down, so we'll be going about 90% faster if we add one of these and breaking even with energy. Now this uses lumium, which I don't think we've made yet. What we're gonna want is, it's like glowstone and silver and something. Tin. Glowstone, silver, and tin. And we got everything. Where is this one? This one. So lumium plates, nickel gear, another redstone flux coil. No big whoop. And that won't, it'll slow it down a tiny bit, but we'll be breaking even, I think, on energy, or at least close to. We have completed a good amount of quests, and there's a few probably that we'll have to pick the loot. Oh, we got a storage controller. Probably for making the storage controller over there. But let's see, we got blaze rods, we got some random stuff. We got a nickel hammer, for some reason. And evil craft book, basic magmator, that'll give us lava power. We'll be going back to lava power soon. We got a withered skeleton skull. Anything more? Okay. More uncommon rewards. There's something else in here. Where could it... Oh, here it is. Toast. Basic pipe upgrade. How delightful. And we got 2 over here in the backpack. We got sophisticated storage quest completions. I think that was a honey treat. That's cool. Is that it up there? Okay, that's it. Now, one mod I'm not sure we looked at, at all in the previous world was create. And we're going to be doing some stuff with create. We're going to need some andesite alloy. I don't even know if I have any andesite. We're going to do stuff with create. I don't have any andesite, do I? Now, I do have a bunch of quests we can turn in. Maybe this will net us something. Let's see. Oh, it all went into the... all went into the dank. Okay, let's see what all we got here. We got a glyph of bounce. That's cool. That we've unlocked. We got a source jar. We got an extreme reactors book. We got a random sword. No andesite. I do not see much in the way of andesite down here. And by not much in the way of, I mean, oh, for crying out loud. I mean, any at all. we may be singing for it. I don't know. I'll take this anvil, though. Whatever we got in here. Oh! Why did I not just take it? Take the gold! Ah, doofus. So it looks like our easiest path towards andesite without, like, you know, going out and finding, like, a savanna or something and digging under it, I think. Or was that diorite? I thought the quark was in the pack. Quark's not even in the pack. I don't know where our andesite's at, but it looks like what we want to do is Botania. And Botania, the way you get started, generally speaking, is you pick flowers, you gotta search around for all 16 different colors, so on and so forth. We're not going to do that. We're going to try to make, 16 floral fertilizer. Now, floral fertilizer is like bone meal, except you only get Botania flowers from it. We're going to pick all these up. Now, these being flowers are Botania setup, our Whirly Sprig setup, can duplicate these for us, give us an endless supply. We could also eventually probably make mystical flower seeds when we get back into mystical agriculture, but this will do for now. Now, our Whirly Sprig's making these flowers for us. We can craft them into these petals, which we're going to be using quite a bit of. One of the things we're going to use these petals to make is something called a petal apothecary. It's just cobblestone and a petal. There we go. Yeah, it's a nice block. Botania's gotten a lick of paint and it's had a few changes since more recent versions. But what you do, you throw a little water in here, right? And you can see everything that this can do. It's got its own tab here in XEI, whatever it is, JI, REI, EI, ABCD. It does all kinds of transformations. But the way, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the pure daisy. I want to be talking about the petal apothecary. We're going to make a pure daisy in the petal apothecary, but XEI doesn't tell you everything. Sorry, folks, it's really early in the morning right now. You got to have water in there, first of all. And you also need a seed. So you just use Q to throw the ingredients for the flowers in there. Then it tells you it needs a seed, which is quite nice because XEI doesn't. And there's your pure daisy. I already made one and didn't realize I didn't have OBS on. Wasn't recording. But we're going to use this to do some transformation. We're going to put some stone around one of them. After about a minute, that's going to turn into living rock. And we're going to move this one. Bang up job this morning. We're going to put some logs around this one. They don't have to be stripped. I just happen to have stripped dark oak. Now we see the little particle effects. That means it's working. And in about a minute, yeah, there it goes. Our stone transformed into living rock. And in another second, our dark oak will change to living wood. There it goes. Very nice. Now we're going to need a couple of things. Let's see here. We got 3 petals. 3 petals would actually be perfect. We need to make, and these are expensive because the twigs are so expensive. 2 logs for a twig, I'm telling you folks. We need a wand of a forest. The forest, I should say. You can use any 2 petals. The petals you use will show up on the icon for the item. This is basically the wrench of the mod. Another thing we're going to need is something to store mana in. Mana is the energy of the mod. We're going to need a mana pool. Another thing we're going to want right away is something called an open crate. These things work like a dropper, except they don't need redstone. And instead of just kind of like spraying stuff all over the place, it'll always send things straight down. We're gonna want hands-free mana. We're not gonna want to be messing with it all the time. So we're gonna build a little something to make that happen. We're going to need a pressure plate. We're going to need a redstone repeater. We're going to take a couple of blocks, just like so. I want to get this on top of the thing. Having a hard time. There we go. We're going to have a little redstone here, little redstone here. We're going to put the open crate right here and the hopper up here, so the redstone line is going into it. Now this is, I got the original idea for this from Direwolf 20. The idea is, like, way back, like his 1.7 series or something. When we have, something on the pressure plate will send a redstone signal to the repeater, which will send a redstone signal to this block, will power the hopper and lock it. Hopper unlocks when something, isn't there anymore, drops another one, locks it again. Simple. So we're going to take a little more of this stuff. Now, once we generate some mana, there's a couple ways to move it around. Most commonly, is that backwards? What am I doing wrong here? Let's see. Most commonly with something called a mana spread. Oh, it's copper now. That's different. Told you, folks, things have changed in Botania a little bit. I have a lot of habits to unlearn. Now, everything in, well, almost everything in Botania that you place in the world has some kind of redstone functionality, including the mana spreader. Now, I'll point it this way, I think. What we don't want is to have it right next to the oak pressure plate, because if you send this thing a redstone signal, turns it off. Now, for andesite-related reasons, and I'll show you what I'm talking about, we're going to put this mana pool up by 1. And we're going to connect it to the mana spreader by shift-right-clicking first on the spreader and then on the pool. We can see the little line going towards him. You can see it's pointing towards the mana pool. All things are as they should be. Now, to actually produce some mana, we're going to need flowers. And, like, literally every time I use Botania, we're going to be using endoflames. And there's a reason why I always use them. There are other flowers that you can use to generate mana. But they've all got something about them that doesn't quite work for me. Like, for instance, we've got the Hydrogenia, which produces mana from water. We can right-click with an empty hand and then throw a seed in and just make these en masse. But the problem with the Hydrogenia is that it'll eventually turn into a dead bush, and you gotta make more Hydrogenias. There is something called a Gormalius or something. Produces mana from food, but while this is, definitely a possible thing that you could do, it wants lots of different kinds of food. Like, it doesn't like it when you keep giving it the same food. And we could set something like that up, but it would be a huge pain. And there's all like that. This stuff, these endoflames, these turn burnables into mana. With a little thing like this, just a couple of blocks, it's set and forget. All we have to do, feed this setup some burnable. Charcoal is on the menu. And you'll see a little particle effect when these things are working. They will send their mana to the mana spreader. The mana spreader will then send it to the mana pool. Now you can see if we mouse over these with the wand of the forest that they are connected to the mana spreader. That's because the mana spreader was already here. if we had put the Endo Flames down before the Mana Spreader, we would have to use the Wand of the Forest to connect them together. Now, this whole thing should be fast enough, even with just 6 of these out here, that this charcoal won't despawn. Like, one of these will just pick it up before it has a chance. And we will rather quickly get some mana going out here. Now, well, there's literally no end. You know, your only limitation on Endo Flames really is, I think they have to be within a certain distance of the Mana Spreader. But this is the lowest tier Mana Spreader. And, hey, what is happening? Oh, I've already got water in there. And it's a little lossy. It's a little slow. It can only hold so much. It can only move so much. So, oh, good. So, you know, we're going to put 12 down. That's probably more than it can handle. But once we're able to upgrade to better mana spreaders, that will no longer be the case. So yeah, we're giving this mana spreader, that bar, that means it's full. We're giving it all it can take. We're probably losing a little bit, but, you know, it's not too bad, and we're not running a shortage of wood to make charcoal out of. Now, the raw mana itself is useful for all kinds of things. One of them is, I thought I had the materials to make the alchemy catalyst, but we gotta use this thing right away. One of the things that it does, and you'll be doing a lot of this, is it converts redstone and a couple other dusts. Oh, the shaders. Yeah, shaders don't play well with the mana. If we had the shaders off, you'd see the mana in there. But we can use the mana that we can't see to change ender pearls into mana pearls. You can do iron into mana steel. You can do, what else? Diamonds into mana diamonds. All kinds of basic materials for Botania. Do I have a crafting table in here? Let's make one. There we go. We could also put 2 different catalysts under it. The Conjuration Catalyst lets you duplicate many things for cost of mana. The Alchemy Catalyst allows you to do some more transformation. And we're gonna, yeah, my magnet on the on the pickaxe, always an issue. So let's go ahead and get this thing right underneath, and you can see it, which is pretty cool. This is what we're going to use to make some andesite. Like, what it's telling us here is that with an alchemy catalyst under the pool, for a very slight cost of mana, we could throw stone in. I happen to have a little stone. And get some andesite back. Wonderful. Now we're going to take our andesite. And we're going to take some zinc nuggets. I think we could use iron nuggets too, but we're not really using zinc for anything. Except for this stuff. We can make ourselves some andesite alloy. Okay, I made a bunch to complete the quest. We've actually completed a bunch of quests. We should cash in. Anything else up here? We got a... Okay, random glyph. I think we have that one. Anything else? Let's see. Oh, we got a little bit more andesite. Yeah, I already know this one. Now, just for trying to make things look at least a little bit realistic, we're going to put these near some water. That is probably about right. Now, you can have 8 of these in a row spinning together, or at least you used to be able to have 8 of them in a row. I think you still can. And if we had, here's our bucket. If we had a little bucket to put some water, make this stuff spin. There it is. Spinning around. The more water we have spinning that stuff around, the faster it will go. Now what we're going to do to watch that is we're going to make a speedometer. We got some stripped logs here. Doesn't matter what kind. We got a little andesite alloy. We're going to right click. And we're going to make our first andesite casing. Delightful. We are going to craft it with a compass. I guess it is not shapeless. Now we're going to make a speedometer. Now we can pop this thing like right here. Not doing nothing. That's fine. It's not spinning. Now I kind of want this thing to spin clockwise. So we're going to put the water that we're going to have down on the bottom here. We need to move this in by one. Okay. So if we give one of these guys a little water to push it. Put some right here. It's not going to do a thing, is it? We might need to move out one more. Nope. It's perfect. It's perfect. So now we can see, well, very little. We could probably see better if we had the create goggles. We'd be able to see how fast. We can see the needle. Now we can move the needle around, but I would like to get some of these. Now we can use any gold plate. We can just go ahead and make it in our multi-servo press downstairs. Here we go. And the goggles are great. I would say that they're even necessary. Now, somewhere we should have a head. Okay, we got 2 head slots. Brilliant. Equip engineer's goggles and a wrench. Okay. Okay, there we go. 4 rotations per minute. It's pretty slow. Now, if we were to get some more water, and let's just start. Oh, hello, jellyfish. We'll just make some infinite sources down here, right? Sure. Now you can see it's visibly faster. No, it's not. It's still going 4. Huh. Interesting. Oh, right. Additional wheels don't make it move any faster. It gives it more stress capacity. That will come in handy when we start using this to move some machines around. But we can make this thing go faster. Now, before I add some more water, we're actually going to move this thing out by one and have a shaft here. See the shaft spinning around. Now we're going to fill in some glass so we don't have water all over the place. Do the same on the other side. Now these water wheels are a little deceptive. If we can put glass right along here and it'll spin right through it without any trouble. We could also put a solid block. It wouldn't be a big problem. Now if we add a little more water here, like right here, so it's pushing it in the same direction. Now it moved visibly faster, right? Right? And we'll pop our speedometer down. It's still only going 4 per minute. Alright, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, or maybe these things have changed. I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. Did it pop the thing off? Well, no. Alright. It's not going to be the fastest thing in the world, but it'll be fine. We're going to need a few more things here. We're going to want 4 of these cogwheels. I'm going to get ourselves some stripped wood. Make some more andesite casing. We'll need more than this, but this will be a good start. Got that nice connected texture. We want to make ourselves a gearbox. Now, gearbox, this ponder mechanic is the best. If you've never seen it, you just hold down W. This thing will allow us to, just like it said, switch axes of rotation. We want a vertical one. Well, we're actually going to want a couple of them, so I'm going to make a couple of them. But we make the vertical ones not shapeless. Okay. we make the vertical ones just by crafting these things with themselves. Another thing we're going to want are some linear chassis. That ought to be a good amount. We're also going to want a clutch, which will allow us to stop something from rotating by giving it a redstone signal. Now, what we're going to do here is just a little more. We're going to put a gearbox right here so that we can run some shafts out in this direction. That's probably pretty good. Maybe one or two more. Just one more. We're going to have to get rid of this cinnamon tree too. Got a sapling. We got a sapling. Nice. Now we're going to take this this vertical gearbox, wherever on earth I put it. Didn't make it. Here we go. We're going to take this thing. We're going to slap it on right here. We're going to put the clutch on top of it. Now, right now, it's sending some rotational force around, so all is well. There we go. Now, the next thing we want is a little contraption. We need something that we can attach a bunch of blocks to make them go spinny. We're going to need... Oh, that's right. We don't get slabs from the rubber wood. It's such a shame. It's a nice texture. Here is our mechanical bearing. We're going to put it... We could put it... We don't need this shaft. We're going to put it right here. So let's go ahead and... we're going to stop this thing for the time being. Now we're going to need our linear chassis. Right? Very nice. We're going to put some more across it. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. I always have so much trouble with this. Here we go. We're going to go out to 3... 4, 5, 6 is probably a good number. And now, I'll spin it around. That's pretty good. If you've watched my videos before, you probably know what we're doing out there. We're making a kind of quick and dirty create tree farm. It's gonna need saws. And we're gonna need, we're gonna want 5 of them, so we're gonna make 15 iron plates. Those guys make a racket. We're also gonna need some deployers. We're gonna need 5 of them. And to make those, we are gonna need some rose quartz. I'll just go to deployers here. So this rose quartz, it's quartz and redstone. It's not that bad. And then what we're gonna need to do is take a little bit of sandpaper, which I know it may shock you to learn that sandpaper is made with sand and paper. And what we do, we're gonna hold on to the sandpaper. We're gonna put the rose quartz in our offhand and just hold down right click. I think if we have some of the Create add-ons, there's sandpaper that lasts longer. This only has like 8 uses. But that's the rose quartz we need for the deployers, right? We're going to need 5 more iron plates, so let me get that going. Now we're also going to need some brass. We're actually going to need 20. Brass isn't bad. I think it's just zinc and copper. So we'll take 10 zinc, 10 copper. And normally, if we just had Create that we were working with, we'd have to go through some things to get some brass. But I'm pretty sure we can just make it in our induction smelter. Yeah, delightful. I already have some. Do we have some? Oh, I have 1. That's from Railcraft, anyway. Alright, we're going to flatten this up. And we might as well go ahead and make our saws, huh? Let's see here. Mechanical saw, mechanical saw. We'll need 5 iron for 5 saws. We'll go ahead and make these. Right. Now while our brass is smashing up, oh, I need some slime. Alright, we got our slime, and the first thing we want to do is, how does this work? Click and hold, okay. We want to switch all of the sticky sides here to 1. What this number signifies is how many blocks out these chassis will grab, and I want them to only grab 1 out on their sticky side. So I'm going to do all of this. Alright, they're all at 1. Then we're going to take our slime ball. Now this thing is spinning around this way. And we are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that, I think. And then we're going to slap our saws on there. Now, when this thing moves, the saws will get rotational force, and they will spin with it. We are also going to have a little bit of slime here for something. And then we're going to slime up, I guess we don't need this one, huh? We're going to slime up all of this. We're going to put some chests right here, because they're going to be necessary. And we're going to put our oh, we don't have the deployers yet. We got to make them. Let's make some deployers. We'll first need some electron tubes. Then brass hands. And then with some andesite casings, we'll get the deployers. Very nice. Now we want them to be facing down, and it's kind of a pain to get them to do it unless you have a block above. But let's see. Yeah, that'll be fine. Let's get some more of these on here. And I don't think we need to worry about the hand in the chest. I don't think. Now, we want to set the filters on these. There's filters somewhere. Are they up here now? They're up here now. Okay. We're just going to fill these up with jungle saplings. All these filters. So that, in theory, when this thing's spinning around, the little hands... Hello. Yeah, there it goes. You can see this thing planning everything because there's something in the inventory. And now, when they grow, we can see the saws spinning as they're coming. Well, they're not really spinning, are they? Maybe they'll spin when something grows. Do I have any bone meal? I have a little bit. Anyway, we're not quite done. Next thing I want to make are a couple of portable storage interfaces, and for that, we're going to need some chutes. These can, send items down or items up if you pass a strong enough air current through it. Now, if we craft those with some andesite alloy, this will give us some portable storage interfaces. That's what we're going to use to get stuff in and out of the system. Oh, we just missed it. We finally did something. We had a tree grow. It's very exciting. And now what's going to happen is this thing is going to do its little kissy kissy. And we're going to get the leavings back in here. Let's do one that we can see, huh? There we go. And just going to cut it down. It's going to put everything in the chests and then the inventory, the interfaces, storage interfaces are going to put the leavings in here. And the deployers are going to, yeah, now we're cooking. The deployers will replace saplings, and we'll have to hook up some functional storage stuff here so that we can just kind of let this run and get all of the wood that we would care to have. And I think that's gonna about do it for this time, folks. We got a lot done today, so thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.